Hi everybody, I'm Angela. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm so happy to have you back here today. Today I'm going to be making something really cool. It's a Thai hot and sour soup, and I was inspired by another channel that I was watching called, I think her name was Tracy's Homestead, and she was making that. Now I'm going to be using a bunch of different ingredients. I did some research and watched some YouTube videos, and almost all of them use different ingredients. So I'm going to be using my favorite ingredients, but the base is going to be the same. So this is kind of a nice recipe because you can customize it to your taste. So I hope you'll come along with me and get ready. And we're going to also be canning the rest of whatever we don't have for supper and save for a little bit of leftovers, canning that up and trying out this new recipe. So come along with me. Okay, so I'm doing mine a little bit different. Well, a lot different maybe. I'll show you what I'm going to use because I don't personally enjoy tofu, but the original recipe does call for tofu or chicken, or some sort of shredded meat, and there's all sorts of different varieties online. So as you guys know, if I'm out of breath, I'm waiting on a heart transplant, and I am trying to keep myself busy while I wait. And cooking is something that I absolutely enjoy and love so much, and that's why I just stay very, very busy. Well, anyone that knows me even before, I am always doing something really busy. But I just want to show you what I'm going to do today. That's going to be the ingredients that, if you want to follow along with my recipe, I really like. And this is a huge batch, so you can have lots of leftovers, or like I said, can it up when you're finished. So I'll show you how I make mine, and it's kind of a version of about 5 different recipes that I've seen, and it's absolutely delicious. So let's get started. Okay, so I've got green onion here and a bunch of Swiss chard. Now I like a lot of greens. I'm not using any meat today, so I'm going to be using a lot of greens. I also have a big 2-liter thing of frozen spinach, which was just one of those big plastic boxes of spinach that I get when they go on sale, and I freeze them, and that's really delicious. So I've got white vinegar, sweet chili sauce, this delicious hot sauce that I love, sesame oil, liquid soy seasoning. Now I use this in place of regular soy sauce, but if you have regular soy sauce, you can use that. Salt and pepper, some bamboo shoots, cornstarch, brown sugar. I have a lot of bone broth here that I have, but you can use any kind of chicken broth that you want. So I've got 8 liters of chicken broth in here, plus 4 liters of water. Then I also have carrots, and I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 10 carrots, quite a lot of mushrooms, some cherry tomatoes, and this is all to taste, so you can customize this totally however you like, and some green and red and yellow peppers. Now these I'm just thawing because I've previously froze these. If you didn't know, green peppers freeze amazing, and you can just freeze them in Ziploc bags and thaw them whenever you need them. So that's going to be great. So I'm just going to start by preparing some of the vegetables and washing everything up and get slicing them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this going on a nice simmer, and this is my chicken broth mixed with mostly chicken broth, but also mixed with water. I'm going to get that nice and hot and start doing my veggies. Now most of the recipes call for the carrot is supposed to be julienne, and I'm not doing that today because I have this slicer that's going to make this really fast for me, because slicing them like that is a really tedious for me. I'm not that great with it, so I'm just going to use these, make these quite nice thinner slices, like about the same thickness that would be julienne, and then go ahead. So customize this however you want to. Wow, I've never tried this slicer for mushrooms before, but it also does an amazing job for mushrooms. And I have no affiliation with this product. I just keep telling you guys how much I love this Starfrit pumpkin slice. Honestly, it makes such short work of everything. Wow, I love it. I've got all my veggies chopped up. I've got my bamboo shoots, my peppers, my carrots, spinach, my tomatoes, my mushrooms, and I almost forgot that I'm putting in bok choy when my husband's bringing home the grocery order from Walmart, and then he's going to bring me the bok choy, so I'm going to add that at the end. And I'm just going to go grab my Swiss chard. Okay, so here is our modern version of the hot and sour soup veggies. So I've got bamboo shoots, the Swiss chard, green onion, peppers, the tomatoes, carrots, this way over here, some frozen spinach that I'm going to add because I like the more leafy greens in there, the better. You could even use kale if you want to, and then quite a lot of mushrooms. So this was one of those double packs of large mushrooms. There's any extra mushrooms you have, it's really great to just throw them in. You can use all sorts of different varieties. Okay, so now I'm adding about a 1/4 cup of chicken bouillon, and I prefer the no MSG, better than bouillon organic chicken broth, and this make it so it's to taste. If you need a little bit more, add a little bit more. Before you start adding the other ingredients, just want to make sure that this tastes really good, like a really good broth. All right, I'm just going to taste a little bit of that. It's still pretty plain. I might add just a little bit more. Just went and got a fresh spoon. What I like to do when I'm down to the bottom, so I'm adding another 2 tablespoons, so probably 1/2 cup. And I'm just going to use the leftover little bits in here and add some hot water in my jar and give it a good shake and get every last little bit out. There, now I got everything out of my jar. Okay, so now we're going to add a teaspoon of pepper and 2 teaspoons of salt, and I'm just using pink Himalayan salt. Starting to smell good in here. Okay, now I'm going to be adding 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and I'm going to kind of pack it in there. And I'm going to be adding the 1/2 cup of chili sauce. And this is just, show you the package, sweet chili sauce. Okay, next I'm going to be using sesame oil, and I'm going to be putting in 1/4 cup of that. And then you're going to be adding 5 tablespoons of hot sauce. Now I'm using this Cholula hot sauce. It's really yummy, but you can use anything that you have. And I'm just gonna, I don't know if 5 tablespoons is a bit much, so I'm gonna start with 3 so it's not quite so spicy. Maybe that was only about 2. But we'll try for 3. And I noticed on all of the videos that people were making, they were saying it was authentic hot and sour soup had white pepper. And I don't have white pepper today, but everyone was improvising with black pepper, and I'm improvising with black pepper. But if you have white pepper, then you can make it more authentic. Okay, next 2 things we're gonna add is vinegar. And we're gonna add 1 cup of vinegar. And I'm just using white vinegar, but you could probably use any kind of vinegar that you want. Although I don't know if balsamic or apple cider vinegar would be that great, but you can definitely use rice wine vinegar. So there's that. And then this is my, like I was showing you, you can use regular soy sauce, but this one's a lower salt variety, and we're going to use 1/2 cup of that. Okay, so give this a good stir and taste it and see what you think of the flavors. And then add a little bit more. If you need more vinegar, add it. If you need more soy sauce, this is the time to add it. So I'm adjusting mine with 1/4 cup more soy and another 1/2 cup of vinegar. And I'll adjust that in the recipe, and I'll put the recipe in the description box below for sure for you guys. This is looking so good. Okay, I've added a little bit more of everything, and I ended up using 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of chili sauce, and just a couple more squirts of hot sauce, and a little bit more vinegar, and I find that it's perfect. So make it to taste, because there's no specific amount here, because your bone broth, your chicken broth is all going to taste different. But don't forget to add your chicken broth base. So this is tasting amazing. I'm going to let this come back to a simmer, and I'm going to get the next step going. So the next thing we're going to do is, I've got 2 cups of nice cool water here and some cornstarch. We're going to be using a cup. Remember, this is a huge batch, so if you're making half the batch or whatever, cut your ingredients in half. But 1.5 cups of cornstarch. I'm just going to whisk that in until there's absolutely no lumps. Yep, that's looking really good. And then we're going to bring that over to our pot and whisk that into our really hot soup base. So my soup is simmering now, and I'm just going to slowly add that cornstarch. And I'm going to dip my container in there because I want to get all of it. Amazing, amazing, amazing flavor. So good. So good for people that love sweet and sour stuff. So our soup has come back to a nice simmer. You can kind of see it simmering, and now is the time we're going to add our veggies. Oh, just heard one of my jars ping from something else. So these are the peppers that I had frozen. Now this is going to have to come back to a boil because this is going to cool it right down. It's almost going to seem like it's not going to fit. And here is my bamboo shoots. I love making stuff that allows you to use up a lot of your ingredients in the kitchen. So you can get totally creative with this and add anything extra that you want, that you particularly like. It's the flavor of the broth that's so key. Okay, I've added the carrots. I'm getting pretty full here. Spinach. It's definitely got to cook down a little bit. That's pretty darn full right there. The cherry tomatoes that I sliced up, but you could use anything. Mushrooms. Oh boy, I'm pretty full. You know what? I might have to put some of this in another pot because this has got, it's just super full. Okay, so now I'm adding the Swiss chard, and I've separated this into, I had to take a little bit out because I'm so full. My pot was so full, but once it cooks down, I'll probably put it all back together. And now for all the mushrooms. So I'm probably going to put like 3/4 in this one and 1/4 in this one. And the other nice thing about just using what you have is there's some key ingredients that make this taste the way it's supposed to taste, but you can also add a lot of your own things to customize it. And I found these in the fridge that needed used up, and they're pea shoots. Oh boy. Pea shoots. So I'm going to pop them in there. Why not? Any extra green is great. Nobody will even notice. Okay, so this is going to simmer. I want this to simmer for quite a while. And I've got my other one trying to, so this one didn't overflow too much. So I'm just going to bring these both back to a boil, let this like just simmer until I'm ready to go. And in the meantime, I'm going to, my hubby's bringing home bok choy. That's what I want to add to this. And then it's pretty much finished. You can add salt and pepper to taste or any of the other seasonings to taste. But that's pretty much we're done. So I would simmer this if you're going to eat it for supper for at least 2 hours. Because I just love the flavors to be cooked really well together. But if you like your vegetables more firmer, you don't have to do it maybe an hour and a half. But I like it to be done for at least an hour or two. And then I'm going to take some of this and can it, so that whenever I want a jar of soup, individual jar, I have it already. So that's going to be fun. So we'll let this simmer and then we'll do that. Also, you guys might have noticed that I didn't add the green onions. I'm going to add them very last at the end. So not quite yet. Keep them for the end. So this has been simmering for about an hour, and now I've added half of the green onions, and I'm going to save the other half for garnish on the top because they just look so pretty. And that's just one bunch. Oh, little pea shoots getting wrapped around my ladle. That's just one bunch of green onions. That looks so good. Okay, let's pop this into the jars. It's super simple. Look at the soup, you guys. Does that not look so delicious? Amazing. I can't wait to sit down and have a steaming bowl of this. So now what I'm going to do is start ladling in the hot soup into my jars, and I'm going to try and get just as an even amount of veggies as I am with broth. Whew, that's really hot. So I'm just going to try and get some more broth here. And I'm going to keep it about an inch of head space there that you can see, and look how beautiful that looks. It's going to be so nice on the pantry shelf, and such a great little individual meal, heated up, poured in a bowl and heated up whenever you feel like it. So I'm just going to get the rest of these poured into the jars now. So just as you would can anything else, you ladle these into your hot liquid into nice, clean, sterilized jars. And I have, if you haven't got one of these little electric pressure cookers yet, oh my goodness. Wow. These are a nifty little thing, because before this I only have water bath canned and never pressure canned. And a while ago I got a electric pressure cooker, and it has been so much fun to use. It's so easy, you just hit the buttons and walk away. So that's what I'm going to use. But if you are pressure canning today, which you need to do for this recipe, you would follow your normal pressure canner instructions for the time that you need to do it for low acidic vegetables. And you just treat this like any other animal meat broth recipe. And I can't wait to give this. We have a family member who is not doing very good, feeling really bad right now, and I can't wait to bring some of this beautiful soup over to him, and hope that he enjoys that and it makes him feel a little bit better, because there's just something about that flavor when you're not feeling good that's so delicious. That combination of sweet and salty, it's so delicious. And I think he'll really enjoy this because he loves my salsa and he loves soup like me. So we're kind of at, whoa, okay. Okay, so what you're gonna do now is make sure that, just like when you're doing your regular canning, that your jars have no chips along the top or it will not seal. And you want to put a clean cloth around here. Ooh, it's steaming. And wipe off any edges. You can also use vinegar if you want. I don't think that's necessary today. And I'm just going to pop these lids on here. And I still have a huge stock pot amount to can, and only my little pressure cooker, so that's gonna take a lot of batches, but it's gonna be worth it. And I can just set it and forget it with that, so it cools down and vents all on its own. I just love it. And I got that one on Facebook Marketplace instead of buying a brand new one, and it's worked out amazing. Look at those, don't they look so beautiful? That just looks amazing. And look at how much we still have left. A huge pot full. So I'm going to can up a lot more, and then I'm going to put more in jars and have some for supper. It's going to be amazing. So that's all there is to it, guys. I hope you enjoy. Basically, just can with your pressure canner the way you'd can anything, and you're going to have these gorgeous soup on your pantry shelf. So I'll show you the finished product as soon as it's ready. So my canner is cooling down and venting out. This is the great little power pressure cooker with the canning feature. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, so I've got my beautiful jars all ready, and it's quite warm. I'm just gonna pop those. They're hot liquid going into a hot canner with that warm water, very warm water. So, whew, I can barely actually hold them. One more, because you don't want cold liquid going into hot liquid. Just make sure that whatever your liquid in here matches your canning. So I'm just going to add some more hot water until I bring this canner about 1/3 full. Then I'm going to pop the lid on to lock, put my mechanism to seal. That's just how this unit works. Plug it in and hit can. And cook time, I'm going to do 2 hours. And that's all I do. I just leave it at that, and it starts and works its magic. Just double check that I have it on seal. Yeah, it's this little round thing. And there we have it. Because I already had a batch on before this, the water's pretty hot, my jars are hot, the liquid inside my jars are hot. It's going to come to temperature a lot sooner than when I put it on from being cold. So beautiful out. So excited. Last night I got some seeds put in the greenhouse. I can't wait to show you guys. Okay, let's take a look at these gorgeous soups. Oh my gosh, they're still bubbling. Look at that. Is that ever beautiful? And I heard pinging in there, so oh, the sun's just beating in and it's hard to see. This is kind of a funny time of the day, but I'll show you on another angle, I think. So here is our beautiful freshly canned soup. And I got more of those ready to go in there. And then it ended up making 16 jars plus lunch plus this much. And I ended up actually adding baby corn to it. So I'm not sure if you can see it here, but to put in 2 cans of baby corn and chop them up into smaller pieces, and I got the thumbs up for that. It tasted extra good. This huge batch of soup, stuff is still going. Made so many jars. I've got 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, plus 4 more over there. So I've got a lot out of this batch. So definitely don't make the whole batch if you don't need that many. Cut it in half. But what an amazing, great thing to put in your pantry for anytime you need a lunch. You guys, I'm testing this soup out and it's so good, so good. Like, I'm so impressed with how it's turned out, and I'm having a delicious lunch. So it's definitely a hit, and I'm gonna have a lot on the shelf to just grab whenever I want something, and I always have a craving for sweet and salty, so this is the absolute perfect item to be sitting on my shelf to just grab and have some easy lunch. So I hope you guys will give it a try. It's super delicious. Oh, it's got some real kick to it, and you can adjust that with how much hot sauce you put in there. So I hope you'll give this a try, and if you enjoy my videos, please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell to all so you don't miss an episode. Have a great day.